from Mohawk Raceway in Campbellville, Ontario. It's the 7th race in the series, the $560,000 two-year-old colt and gelding trot. Hello, everyone. I'm Jim Hewson. Welcome to Mohawk Raceway. We're in Campbellville, Ontario, about an hour outside of the city of Toronto, give or take a few minutes, depending on the traffic. This is rural Ontario, and it's appropriate that we're here in the heart of horse country in southern Ontario. Earl Lennox is here as our analyst for tonight's 2 heats and the final of this Breeders' Crown Series. What does a race like this and a rich purse mean to a track like Mohawk?
Well, it's the richest race for trotters in Canada this year, Jim, and for Mohawk, of course, our richest race of the season. It's the highlight of our racing season, and we're quite appreciative here at Mohawk that the Breeders' Crown has seen fit to give us a leg of their series, which might decide the year-end champion in this category tonight.
$560,000, the total purse. The horses will be racing for $420,000. In the final, you see the breakdown with the winner getting $210,000. They'll qualify for the final after 2 $70,000 heats. Well, we've had a chance to look at the eliminations, and as we get our audience set up for the first of these, what should they watch for as they look at this race?
Well, we can give them something to watch for right from the beginning. Watch for Delray Lobel. He spoils his chances early in this race. Watch for the Joseph Kroll trained entry of Petri Cosmos and Grundy's Connection, who is the betting favorite at post time. They set up fast early fractions. Watch for a perfect trip from Continental Spirit. Watch for Huggy Hanover right at the end. He can't get by them. And German Street spoil his chances late in the race. So that's the whole field.
All right, there's the first elimination. You see the horses in order of their post position on the screen. And now let's go to John Craik with the call of the first elimination worth $70,000 in total.
The horses are now in the hands of the starter for the 7th race. First elimination of the Breeders' Crown for 2-year-old trotting colts. This elimination goes for $70,000. They're now in the hands of the starter. It's post time. This field is now in motion, and there they go. The Roth and trotting Continental Spirit trots out fast the rail in between horses. That's Petri Cosmos, and trotting up on the outside, Delray Lobel is third. Around the turn and up on the outside, going for the lead is Petri Cosmos. Half the rail in second, trotting Continental Spirit. It's a gap of 2 open lengths now, back to Huggy Hanover racing in third. Half the rail in fourth now as they approach the opening quarter-mile station. Continental Spirit is trotting in fourth. Driving up on the outside in fifth, that's German Street and Grundy's Connection. In front of the grandstand, Petri Cosmos by a length and a half as he trots past the opening quarter in 29 2/5. Continental Spirit trotting in second, driving up on the outside now in third as he moves in front of the grandstand. That's Grundy's Connection. Racing in fourth, Huggy Hanover. Fifth off the rail is German Street. And trotting in sixth, the move in front of the grandstand, that's Delray Lobel. Around the paddock turn towards the half-mile marker. Petri Cosmos by a half a length with Grundy's Connection on the outside second. Up the rail in third as they move past the half-mile marker. Continental Spirit, the half was reached in a minute flat. Racing fourth, Huggy Hanover. In the backstretch, and German Street is trotting in fifth now. By a half a length as they move down the backstretch, Petri Cosmos. Trotting up on the outside in second as they approach 3/4, that's Grundy's Connection. And racing in third is Continental Spirit. Trotting fourth, Huggy Hanover, and German Street is fifth. Racing in sixth now is Delray Lobel. Approaching 3/4 around the turn, and Petri Cosmos continues in front. Grundy's Connection stays with him on the outside in second. Trotting third now as they move around the far turn, Continental Spirit. And Huggy Hanover's fourth past the 3/4 in 1:30 At the top of the stretch, neck in front as they straighten out for home. That's Petri Cosmos. Up on the outside in second, German Street now closing up Grundy's Connection in the middle of the racetrack. Coming to the payoff in between horses, Petri Cosmos. Closing up in the far outside, Continental Spirit begins to close in the middle of the racetrack, and he is getting up to get the lead. Continental Spirit wins the first elimination of the Breeders' Crown.
So Continental Spirit with Jan Janssen on the bike comes from behind and wins Payne 660, 350, and 290. Petri Cosmos at 1050 and 510. Grundy's Connection at 280 to show And Huggy Hanover also qualifies for the final. Now let's get on to this second elimination. We had one scratch in Grundy's Ebony. What should we look for as we watch this one?
Well, before the races started this evening, Jim, I was convinced that Mark O'Mara's horse had a heck of a chance, and he proved that he didn't disappoint me at all in his elimination. Firm Tribute, leaving from the number 5 post position, he goes straight to the front and gradually improves his position in here.
That's Mark O'Mara of Jate Lobel fame. Let's have a look at elimination number 2 with the call from John Craik.
Trotters for the second elimination of the Breeders' Crown are now in behind the starting gate. It's post time. This field is now in motion, and there they go. Trot then trotting and driving out at the rail is King of Broline. Up on the outside, Firm Tribute is trotting up to be second. Up the rail in third now as a move around the far turn to Rydell Hanover. And trotting in fourth, that's Armbro Gaylord. Defined One is fifth after an eighth of a mile. King of Broline on the front end by a length. Trotting second, Firm Tribute. And driving third is Rydell Hanover, and he is off stride now. Up the rail in third as they approach the quarter is Armbro Gaylord. And Defined One is now fourth, coming towards the quarter-mile marker. King of Broline by a length at the quarter and 30 3/5. Firm Tribute trotting in second. Rydell Hanover is racing in third. The Defiant One is fourth. And trotting in fifth is a move in front of the grandstand and approach the half-mile marker. That's Rydell Hanover. Firm Tribute trots up on the outside now in front of the grandstand and takes over the lead. Up the rail in second. King of Broline trotting in third now as a move around the turn. That's Armbro Gaylord, and racing in fourth is Defiant One. Approaching the half, a Firm Tribute by 2 open lengths now, and he reaches that marker in 1:01 1/5. Up the rail, King of Broline trotting in second, and racing in third now as they move down the backstretch, Armbro Gaylord trotting in fourth as they approach 3/4, Defiant One, and Rydell Hanover is fifth in the backstretch. Firm Tribute pulls away now by 2 lengths. King of Broline remains second, driving him on the outside now. Defiant One is third. Armbro Gaylord trotting in fourth, and Rydell Hanover is fifth as they approach 3/4. It's Firm Tribute a half a length in front, and King of Broline trots up on the outside now second and tries him for the lead as they move past the 3/4 and 1:31 4. Moving up third, the outside, Defiant One. Armbro Gaylord is fifth. Rydell Hanover is sixth at the top of the stretch by a half a length. Firm Tribute up on the outside, King of Broline trotting in second. Down along the rail, Armbro Gaylord is third, coming to the payoff. Firm Tribute by 3 lengths now. King of Broline trotting second. Up on the outside, Armbro Gaylord is closing up to be third. Firm Tribute by 2. Armbro Gaylord between horses. Firm Tribute in front.
Mark O'Mara's Firm Tribute looked like he had some to spare as he wins the second elimination in this colt and gelding trot. 490, 350, and 240. And you see the other prices as Defiant One is the 4th horse and also makes the 8-horse final. And Mark O'Mara's ride looked pretty good. He looked like he had some to spare.
Confident drive, and the horse won under wraps at the end. He never loosened his hand holds in the lines.
Continental Spirit and Firm Tribute were the winners of the 2 eliminations, and here is the final field for this $420,000 and $560,000 total prize money. Firm Tribute and Continental Spirit up top. And the odds as we get set for the final from Mohawk Raceway in Campbellville, Ontario.
Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. We're in the 9th here at the park. Whitey Ford going with his favorite, Mickey Mantle betting on his long shot power. It comes to this. Pompano Harness, great entertainment, great pari-mutuel action, great gourmet dining, and now Sunday racing. Take it from Whitey Ford and Mickey Mantle.
Pompano Harness racing's fun. You can bet on it.
Pompano Harness.
Post time 7:30, Sunday 7 p.m.
This Bud's for all that you do.
Today, a landscaper. Tomorrow, a college student. Yep. Finally took your advice, Mike.
You taught him.
Already you're smart.
All you knew. They say he's a lot like you. Yeah, you make America work, and this Bud's for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
To a future architect. And to a brother who made it possible.
This Bud's for you.
Castleton presents Royal Prestige, 1986 Trotter of the Year, winning 13 starts, including the World Trotting Derby and divisions of the Hamiltonian and Kentucky Futurity. He earned over $1 million and was the season's fastest colt trotter. Royal Prestige is one of the best-bred stallions today by Speedy Crown from the world champion Rosemary. Standing at Castleton of New York, his foals are eligible to the sport's richest sire stakes program. At Castleton for 1988, Royal Prestige.
The $5 million Breeders' Crown Series is the fall showcase for the sport of harness racing. For racing fans, it offers the ultimate in trotting and pacing excitement. You'll see the equine stars and top harness racing personalities from all over the world in competition. So join me, Dave Johnson, along with my colleagues Stan Bergstein, Ellie Sarama, and Alan Kirschenbaum in the winner's circle for another Breeders' Crown Championship race right here on ESPN. In harness racing, it all comes down to the Breeders' Crown.
The $560,000 two-year-old Colton Gelding Trot, the Breeders' Crown, continues from Mohawk Raceway at Campbellville, Ontario. Time for the post parade as the final 8 horses come out for this $420,000 final. There's Mark O'Mara's owned, trained, and driven Firm Tribute.
Well, how many good horses can you have in one year? And he had Jate Lobel last year, and again this year. This colt he owns himself, so the money is all his. He's won close to $370,000, including that first elimination, or that win in his elimination. 9 wins and 19 starts on the year. A Bonefish 2-year-old.
He actually bought this horse on a tout from another person who was in the eliminations tonight, and that was Dan Shetler on German Street.
Well, the mare Escapade by Speedy Count has a well-bred mare and has produced some other top horses. He came to the race with good credentials and a recent good performance, winning at Louisville in his last start.
The number 2 horse was the winner of the first elimination, and that is Continental Spirit, owned by Ed Rudner, driven by Jan Janssen. And this horse has won at Mohawk before, won the Champlain Stakes here on September the 9th.
Has a definite affinity for this 5/8 mile track. He won his elimination. He won the final of the Champlain Stakes confidently, and he won very confidently tonight under a super drive by Jan Janssen behind the Team Nordine entry. He come on strong in the stretch.
The number 3 horse is Ambro Gaylord, the only Canadian-bred horse in this field, bred in Ontario, owned by Lofty Bruce of Truro, Nova Scotia, now out of New Jersey.
Lofty Bruce has sent out some great horses over the last few years, and including Robust Hanover's most famous. Ambro Gaylord looked very strong in the stretch, trotted home strongly, and was closing in just slightly on Firm Tribute.
The number 4 is Petri Cosmos with Illinois Hall of Famer Walter Paisley in the bike.
This horse has a chance if he can get to the front and get easy fractions. He's by Arndon, a little hot like the Arndons, and he likes to race in the front end. If they leave him alone for the first part of the race, he could be tough at the end of it. He hung well in the stretch.
There's Grundy's Connection, owned by Seymour and Cliff Grundy, and Sid Cohen, trained by Joe Kroll and driven by Jan Nordine.
This horse went the toughest trip of any of the colts in tonight's eliminations, being parked for the, well, virtually the whole mile, certainly the last 3/4, and stayed relatively strong in the stretch, but couldn't get by Petri Cosmos at the end of it. I don't know whether that will help him, whether it'll tighten him, or whether it'll take a lot out of him, Jim.
The number 6 horse is King of Broline. Now, this horse is driven by Bernd Lindstedt. He's trying to make it 2 weeks in a row. He drove Nan's Catch to victory in the 2-year-old filly trot last weekend.
Well, this colt mounted a bit of a challenge on Firm Tribute around the last turn, but when they get into the stretch, you could see that he was all done. He was out of trot, he was on one line, he had his head turned out, and he was trying to bear in. I don't think he will be better the second heat.
Number 7 is Defiant One, owned by Ann Beisinger and Eben Duringer, and trained and driven by 63-year-old Hall of Famer Howard Beisinger.
Defiant One has been running a bit of a temperature today, and there was a possible scratch before the race started. Again, Howard Beisinger thought about scratching him before the final, but he's back. He didn't show a lot of trot when he should have in the stretch in that elimination.
And finally, number 8 is Huggy Hanover, the only Canadian-owned horse in this race. Ron Waples will drive this horse, and Huggy Hanover's had a problem with a cold as well. It seems horses aren't immune to the flu that goes around at this time of year.
Well, in his elimination, Jimmy seemed to be all over it, and I talked to Ronnie Waples, as you did, in the paddock, and he was furious with himself that he didn't pull to follow Continental Spirit in that elimination. He was sure he could have been second and possibly even have won it. He was just strangling the hold at the end of it, the horse at the end of it. He couldn't get through, and he had lots of trot left, but he's got a bad post position in the final.
Well, let's have a look at the current odds right now as this 8-horse field prepares for the $420,000 final that's coming up. From Mohawk Raceway in Campbellville, Ontario, the series continues. We'll be back with a $420,000 final in just a moment.
Deep in the heart of Lexington's exclusive East End is a cluster of elegant private condominiums known simply as Four Pines. Four Pines isn't for everyone. It's for the discriminating few who demand nothing less than the best in the way they live and the place they call home. Four Pines, Lexington's most prestigious address, isn't for everyone, but it just might be for you.
It's the dawn of a new era at Superior Nissan Chrysler Plymouth Dodge. Nicholasville Road is finally complete, and we're celebrating this week with the world's greatest car and truck deals. Save hundreds, even thousands of dollars. It's the dawn of a new era, only at Superior Nissan Chrysler Plymouth Dodge, the world's greatest car dealer. Superior! Just minutes south of Fayette Mall.
Raceway. We're nearing the final, the $420,000 final in this 7th in the Breeders' Crown Series. And there's Mark O'Mara's Firm Tribute. Should be a favorite as this race comes up. Tribute has won 9 of 19 starts in '87.
And his backup is good. He shows the best winning time in the race, 157-1 at Springfield earlier this year. He's got the most money in the field. He's won close to $370,000.
Let's go back to September 19th. Firm Tribute was 5th at the half in this race at Lexington, Kentucky.
Big, powerful colt. When he pulls the trigger, when Mark O'Mara pulls the trigger, he's got a lot of trot. You can see how he sweeps from 5th right to the front, a winning move in the Kentucky Sire Stakes at Lexington.
And after taking the lead, he went on to win by 2 3/4 lengths at the Kentucky Sire Stakes. Here's the 2-horse Continental Spirit. What did you see in difference between Firm Tribute's win in the second elimination and Continental Spirit's win in the first?
Well, this horse got a perfect trip behind the 2 pace setters. He came out and just nicely got by them, but he only trotted his last quarter in 31 3 off fast early fractions, whereas Mark O'Mara's horse trotted home in 29 3 off slow early fractions, came a last half and a minute and a fifth. I like them to put it together that way. This horse was being urged at the end, although he did win rather easily, whereas Mark O'Mara just had a snug hold of his horse the whole way.
There's the number 5 horse, Grundy's Connection. Grundy's Connection also raced at Lexington, Kentucky recently.